Today's guest is Brady Mullen. He's a representative with the Capital Resource Group in Littleton, Colorado. Stick around to the end of this video because at the end we're going to show you how to subscribe to our newsletter. You can download some free guides and you can win books about exit planning. Thank you to Zarlingo Robb, CPAs and Business Advisors in Wheat Ridge, Colorado for providing a location for us to film this episode. At Zarlingo Robb, they think like business owners. For more information about Zarlingo Robb, please click the link in our website show notes. Hi, I'm Norman A. Hood, financial advisor and host of the Exit Plan Show. I interview America's top advisors, like today's guest, Brady Mullen, to help business owners like you enjoy more personal freedom, grow your company a little faster, and retire someday on your own terms. Brady's with Capital Resource Group, where he provides a variety of business and personal financial products and services. Hey Brady, thanks again for joining us for another episode.
Thanks, Norm.
We are going to talk today about the value of risk reduction. And first, let's just start out by talking about some of the common risk in a small business that may be the most notable.
Well, you have experience with this as well, probably more so than I do. I come to the table usually when certain risks are already identified, but the one that I see most commonly is too much dependence on the owner. If the owner is wearing a lot of hats, that's a really difficult thing for the company to survive. If the owner leaves or tries to retire or gets hit by a truck or whatever, that's a difficult thing for a business to survive. So that's a big risk. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you know, in exit planning we call that hub and spoke syndrome. And that's when the business owner is at the very center of everything, has got his hands in everything, is touching everything. And the best way we tell a business owner to diagnose himself is by asking this question. Could you leave your business for 2 weeks, leave your cell phone at home, leave your computer home, and enjoy your vacation? And if the answer to that is no, then they have hub and spoke syndrome.
Yeah, and that's a real valuable, and I say valuable not in the, I say that in a very specific sense. That drives valuation.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
a valuable, something that can be quantified. That's a risk that your business faces.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to buy it. If you can't leave your business for 2 weeks, nobody wants to buy it, because when they buy it, you're going to leave it forever.
Yeah, they're buying clients. If that's all, they're buying current contracts and clients, which is a huge discount. Yeah, the buyer doesn't mind that because they're going to price that in. But the seller, the business owner, that's a big problem for that person because they've created this business that has maybe great cash flow, maybe looks great on paper, but if it's too dependent on the business owner, that's a risk that buyers are going to want a big discount for. And that's important. It's important to look at what buyers want and don't want, even if you're not selling your business.
Well, even in your part of it is the insurance. If a business owner's family's counting on that income from the business and he's doing all the work, and that business suddenly becomes, near worthless when they're gone because nobody wants to buy it, they're going to have something to replace that, or their family's going to be out on the street, and that's, the only thing that can replace that's insurance.
And most business owners, the most valuable thing they own is their business. And I've met so many business owners that work very well. They do a really good job. They provide a really good service or product, but they pay more attention to their stock portfolio than they do their business from an administrative standpoint. They go through their items on their stock portfolios and are very concerned about that, or want to make changes every so often. But they don't look at their business in the same way when their business is worth 5, 6, 7, 10 times what their stock portfolio might be worth. Yeah. So it's important to look at those things and evaluate where are the risks, how can I mitigate those, and demand a higher premium for my business.
Okay, good information. Great answer again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Norm. So
how do we put a number on some of those risks? How do we quantify?
Every industry is a little bit different. But for an example, in a financial industry, I've seen just something as simple as having a staff member that's been with you for 15 years that manages the administrative part of the business can command anywhere from a 50 to a 200% premium on your business. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because the clients know that person, they're used to interacting with that person. There's a lot less attrition if somebody were to buy that practice. I mean, if you could get 50% or double, 50% more or double the value of your business by simply being able to work less. I mean, think about that. I always go back to the smart money. Buyers that represent investors, they have a fiduciary responsibility over that investment to try to get a good return, but also to take away risks to that investment. And if one of the risks is too much dependence on an owner, they're going to value that, and they're going to pay they're going to want a discount for that. And it's important to note that even if you're not selling, because they're noticing a risk in your business for their investors. Well, you are already an investor in your business with a bunch of time and a bunch of money and a bunch of emotion. And if that investment of yours is at risk, that would be important for you to know. And having a third party evaluate that, either through a valuation specialist or buyers, smart buyers that know what to look for in a business and what risks are there, if they identify that as a risk, you should pay attention, because that's a risk to your investment as well.
Okay. So we identify the risk, we quantify it, and so now how do we mitigate it?
Well, there's a lot of risk to that. The best way to mitigate is to find somebody that's good at that and list those things out. An exit planner, that's their job, is to look at all the things that a buyer would look for, whether you're selling the business or not. Because if a buyer is willing to pay a premium for it, that means that it's running very efficiently and it's got very few risks or very low risks. So if that represents good return and low risk for a buyer, that represents a good return, low risk for the current owner, because the current owner is a big investor in his or her own company.
Right.
So identifying those risks, listing them out, and deciding which ones command a premium, which ones we can eliminate to command a premium out in the open market, or which ones are causing other buyers to want to pay something at a discount. That's important, and exit planners can look at those risks from more than just an insurance. Some of those risks can be covered by insurance. Some of those risks take 5 or 6 years or 10 years of grooming management to eliminate those risks. So having an exit planner work with you over time to help bundle the business in a way that a buyer wants to buy it, whether you sell it or not, if a buyer wants to buy it, you want to own it.
Right.
So it represents a good investment for you as the owner as well. So an exit planner helps package that, make it easy to own, easy to walk away from, easy to sell, easy to transition to your family. All the options that are on the table are better if someone that's experienced in planning those things and filling in gaps and inefficiencies. All those things will work better if you have somebody like that on your team.
And who wouldn't want a sellable business?
Yeah, if it's a good business to sell, it's a good business to own.
Right. Okay, so for more information about Brady and Capital Resource Group, you can visit the show notes on our website, and we'll have a link to their website there and some other contact information for Brady. And while you're there, subscribe to our newsletter. You can also download some free guides and win a copy of several different books that pertain to exit planning.